Hello everyone and welcome to your show Around Kuwait. This is your host Abdulaziz Darwish. As usual, we share with you about the latest events happening in our lovely country state of Kuwait. And sometimes in our show we have a distinguished guest who are going to join us to talk about different perspective and even majors. And before we start, I would like to greet our working crew and even my colleague Sarah. Hello Sarah, I'm happy to see you today.
Happy to see you too, Abdulaziz. I would like to great welcome to our dear viewers in the Around Kuwait show. We'll be sharing different stories and inspiring topics, and starting with our first headline. What is our first headline?
Actually, first headline we'll talk about different perspective. You know, like it's like a gathering, like a community for the museum and people for the antiques and for archaeological. So, dear viewers, we're gonna talk about the first topic, which about the Arabian Gulf Antiquite Symposium. Delves into the latest discoveries. You know, we have like an island and too many different locations in Kuwait. It's a little bit historical.
Yes.
So it's like a gathering from the GCC countries. Will talk about historical, and they know the science of the archaeology. We call it the science for following the history.
Wow, that's interesting. And our second topic will be a captivating exploration of the human body and mind at the Museum of Wonders at Abdullah Salam Cultural Center. As you know that Abdullah Salam Culture always educate us, let's say, in other ways.
We call it, it's a family and also touristic destination. People go there to enjoying their time in different museum and to hosting some kind of different events. We are very proud and for their effort just to acknowledge and to share the knowledge for the families and even for the youngsters.
Yes.
And the third topic is also interesting also, Sarah.
Yes, of course. The third topic will be Harvard University collaborates with the Kuwaiti school, which is really interesting, especially when we're talking about the new generation.
We are teaching the new generation for the new era. That's why we always appreciate the efforts for the Ministry of Education, what they are doing in a marvelous job to educate for the new generation with Harvard University, one of the top 10 universities in the world, to exchange the knowledge about them, the history and even more. So I guess this is about our three topics for today.
Yes, of course. With that, dear viewers, we're gonna head to a break and we'll be back.
The Arabian Gulf Antiquities Symposium unfolded beneath the resplendent banner of the latest archaeological discoveries, a prestigious event meticulously organized by the National Council for Culture, Arts and Letters Archaeology Department. The illustrious gathering boasted the esteemed presence of the Acting Assistant Secretary General of the Antiquities and Museums Sector, Mr. Mohammed bin Ridha. Dr. Layfullah Al-Ataibi, representing the Heritage Authority of the Ministry of Culture in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, took the stage to illuminate the assembly with a captivating narrative of the kingdom's profound strides in archaeological surveys and excavations. His presentation resonated with the dedication and ceaseless efforts invested in uncovering the mysteries of Saudi Arabia's rich heritage. Following this, the spotlight shifted to Dr. Salman al-Mahari from the Kingdom of Bahrain, who unveiled the latest archaeological discoveries within the island nation. The audience was enraptured by the tales of Bahrain's historical treasures unearthed through meticulous research and exploration.
One of the most important archaeological discoveries is the discovery of the Christianity and the archaeological materials dated back to the Christian period in Bahrain. We found it in the area of Samahij in the island of Muharraq, where we found archaeological sites dated back to the mid of 6th century to the mid of the 8th century, and it is a building. We found a lot of materials to confirm that this building is dated back to the Nestorian Christianity in the area.
The audience marveled at the revelations that transcended time, connecting them to the rich tapestry of the Gulf's ancient civilizations.
Many of the discoveries prove some of the believed facts are not correct, and it does correct. They do correct many facts in the history, and it is very important for us to know our ancestors' lives and how they lived, and we will find with surprise that many things we do actually we took it from our ancestors before 3,000-4,000 years ago.
The symposium stood as a testament to the unwavering commitment to preserving and sharing the region's cultural heritage.
We are back to our show again around Kuwait. Dear viewers watching us through the KTV2, usually it's still in our show around Kuwait. We share with you about the latest events. And before the break, my co-host, our co-host Sarah, we spoke about our three main topics.
Yes.
So let's speak about the first topic, which already presented before.
Of course, the first topic will be the Arabian Gulf Antiquity Symposium, centered in the latest archaeological discoveries, where we'll be talking about art and different things, talking more about culture as well.
And also, in addition, let's speak about the people who already participated, organized, about people who already interested, we call it, in the museum field. So we'll talk about the Assistant Secretary General of the Anti-Kuwait of the museum sector, Mr. Mohammed bin Rida. He was adding the prestigious to the event. And we also appreciate the people, for we call the public figures, the VIP people, for supporting this kind of events, for sharing for them about the knowledge of archaeology. You know, the archaeology is the science for seeking for the heritage and seeking about the history for any civilizations. You know,
Yes.
they are digging with their spoons just to go for any type of any history.
And especially one of these kind of representing in Kuwait, when we're talking about the Gulf countries, especially Dr. Dayfallah Al-Utaibi, which was representing the Heritage Authority of the Ministry of Culture in Saudi Arabia, also was there while the audience was there. And I think it's really interesting to have these kind of surroundings with the audience and others to know more about, especially when we're talking about the Gulf countries.
And also we appreciate we call it the presented and also the visitors and the participants from the GCC countries, especially from our friendly and brotherly countries. We call about the GCC, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and they are always have like a precious and rich of their history. You know, like if you go for all around the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, you will see diversity of our brotherly countries. You will see the different of aspect of the history, and even if you add their knowledge, like from Dayfallah Al-Utaibi, he's already represented also Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the state of Kuwait. He spoke about the history, you know, like we're gathering people from different perspectives. We spoke about the history, about our guest from Kingdom of Bahrain also. Sarah.
Which was Dr. Salman Amhari from Bahrain, who took the stage to unveil the latest archaeological findings within the island nation. Also, this is something really interesting to have. We had Saudi Arabia and Bahrain, and I'm sure there's the other countries from the GCC, as you mentioned.
Kingdom of Bahrain, they are very famous for you call it the civilization of Delmon civilization, you know, like this one of the rich history, and Kuwait of the Failaka Island and the history of the state of Kuwait, and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So three countries with big, diverse and old nation and old islands competing together. We cannot say competing, collaborating together.
Yes.
They are coordinating to share about something important about archaeological, because the GCC countries, they have too many precious and important things happening during the different eras, you know.
Yes, of course.
So that's why even we have a different guest from Sultanate of Oman also, Sarah.
Yes, Mohammed Al-Kalbani representing Oman, which painted a vivid picture of the country's historical tapestry by presenting the latest archaeological discoveries during the year 2022 and 2023 as well.
So the Sultanate of Oman is already being there, and you know the Sultanate of Oman, one of the main pillars of the history of the GCC countries. So these four countries collaborating together to share about the archaeological. You know, even in state of Kuwait, you will see the land of archaeology, especially in the Failaka Island. You will see the people who are interested in the history and the museum. even from not only from the GCC countries, from Europe countries participating, and too many like scientists from different universe countries coming here in the Failaka Island to search for the history, for the civilization. And now they are gathering together. You will talk about the history for all the nation. It's important that even we have another guest, he's from representing our state of Kuwait.
Yes, of course. And that was Dr. Sultan Dwayish, who was representing in Kuwait, and he shared different insights, the latest archaeological discoveries in Subiya as well. Yeah.
So Gulf ancient civilizations, you know, like even here in the state of Kuwait, especially for American Hospital, Dar al-Athar al-Islamiyya, if you go there, you will see the antiques of the, you know, the history of Kuwait and even the old nations. And when you notice, when you saw the antiques and even we refer to the archaeological symposium, you will see the links between all the GCC countries for it comes to the tradition, for the history, for the all different history also.
Yes, of course. And this, I think, Abdulaziz, would add to the people who don't know more about the Arabian Gulf and the culture itself and the traditions. People would be more educated to learn more about the GCC or the Arabian Gulf history, basically.
Arabian Gulf history is rich. Arabian Gulf history have too many different perspectives. Arabian Gulf, when if you go to seek for the ancient, you will see too much about proudness, about teamwork, about braveness. This is we already been in our blood. So when you seek these different four countries, you will see the history of the seaside and even the desert side. So the seaside, you will see it's rich with too many risk and too many, we call it like teamwork. When you go to the desert side, you will see a rich history when you call about the proudness, about helping the others, seeking for volunteering. This is like a rich history. And when you go back more, you will see different things also.
And plus, Abdulaziz, I think similar to the Arabian Gulf, they're similar to each other. They have the same history, but some little things it might be different. So this is really interesting, knowing more about the knowledge exchange and collaboration between these countries, bringing together the experts to others to shed light and people to know more about it.
To know more about, to learn, to my different perspective. And you will see there are too many keynote speakers. They have they give lectures about their maybe the development for archaeology in the GCC countries, because you know you will see they are facing some challenges because in different country, some of them have mountains, coast side, seaside, desert side. Challenges when it comes to the archaeology. Maybe in the state of Kuwait we have certain distant location, but we go to Sultanate of Oman or Kingdom of Saudi Arabia or Kingdom of Bahrain. Bahrain's a coastline. It's like similar to state of Kuwait, but the Sultanate of Oman and so the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia have a diverse of the lands, mountains, huts, places, and even hills. So if you find like an archaeology, if you are seeking for the diverse of the history, you will see too many upcoming challenges also.
Yes, of course, as you have mentioned, Abdulaziz, I think this is really interesting for the attendees to know more about the Arabian Gulf again, especially when we're talking about small things, knowing more about history. And I think it's really interesting, especially for the upcoming generation to know more about it, because I think the new generation is more into, let's say, technology.
And also technology, when you mention about the Islamic culture, we have the Islamic history. If you put AI and the AI, the new artificial intelligence for we call it the Islamic, so it will becomes much more better. You know why? Because our history for the four GCC countries, we are very rich for the Islamic culture and Islamic heritage and Islamic maybe antiques and accessories. If you go further in for the Sultanate of Oman and even Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and even the state of Kuwait, Kingdom of Bahrain, you will see the ancient accessories, maybe 100 years ago, 300, 400 years, or maybe from 1000 and above. You know, like below from the Islamic history, especially in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the Sultanate of Oman, you will see the proudness of their history. So we have a very rich Islamic history, and you imagine you combine the AI for the new technology for them, you will see maybe different shape of 3D design, you will see different shape of the maybe actual people talking, you know, the ancient times. You will see
and I think this is really interesting when we shed light about these kind of things, which this event concluded a lot of things about the Arabian Gulf region and the culture heritage, let's say. And I think we should have more such events and museums that talk more about culture and history. Basically.
So let's talk more about the seaside culture
Yeah.
of all the GCC countries. It's a little bit similar to each other. You will see like we have like a precious history. Kuwait, the state of Kuwait have like a history for 400 years ago.
Yeah.
Kingdom of Saudi Arabia even more, Sultanate of Oman more, Kingdom of Bahrain also. We share the, we call it the seaside history. If you go to any like a Kuwaiti museum here, maybe the archaeology you will mention, they will mention about the style, how they are diving for the pearls, about and even if you go a little bit much long time ago, you will see maybe we call it the something about Athena's style, you know, the Greece, like in especially in the Failaka Island. Even if our currency, you will see in the one Kuwaiti dinar, you will see the Icarus also history. And we go the archaeology there, you see they going deep dive and you're checking the history of Kuwait with their spoons and even small little brushes to check more about what's happening. And we have too many couple of minutes, we'll talk more about this kind of the history, you know, about we call the Icarus history. And even when you see the keynote speakers, when you already mentioned their names, they will talk more about their challenges, like, you know, in the seaside. I know you want to say something.
Of course, and would you prefer, let me ask you, Abdulaziz, the last, let's say, old history, or would you prefer the future right now?
You see, I am very actual guy, you know, I always go to the logic. So every era, it's like a unique itself. So I prefer to be in present now.
You prefer to be present.
Present, that's why. So this is like we call it maybe the good thing about the AI. AI always give us more imagination. Maybe it's like from the new technology, but it gives us certain way to learn and know about how our ancestors already lived already.
Yes, of course. And I think sometimes we would miss this kind of old history, knowing more about it. And I think the old days is always different than the new upcoming days we're living in. But as you mentioned, technology is increasing big time. So that, dear viewers, that was our first topic. We'll stay tuned after the break.
Embarking on a fascinating journey into the wonders of the human body and mind. The exhibits unravel the secrets of our being, demonstrating the synchronized dance of the brain and body. They highlight the seamless harmony in their complex functions. Portraying the human brain as a supercomputer, the exhibits delve into its cognitive wonders, showcasing the processing power fueling our thoughts, emotions, and actions. Visitors gain insights into health challenges and the body's robust defense mechanisms. A captivating 4D show guided by the interactive character Kashif transforms the experience, unfolding the marvels of our biological systems combating threats. The intricacies of the body's defense mechanisms are vividly unveiled, fostering a deeper appreciation for its resilience.
Hello everyone, my name is Sarah Nouri. We're here in the Science Museum at Sheikh Abdullah Salem Cultural Center. Here we have 4 galleries. We have the human body, the healthy living, our blueprints, and the 4DX show.
Continues with an interactive laboratory offering hands-on exploration of the scientific principles governing the human body. Kashif serves as an educational guide, making learning both informative and entertaining. This experiential learning environment provides a unique opportunity for hands-on exploration, turning the complexities of human biology into tangible knowledge. The exhibits contribute to a holistic understanding of health, emphasizing the interconnected nature of physical and mental well-being. Encouraging visitors to appreciate the remarkable resilience of the human body, the immersive journey instills awe and admiration for the intricate mechanisms that allow us to adapt, survive, and thrive. The overall experience aims to inspire curiosity and fascination about the marvels of our own existence.
We are back to our show again around Kuwait. We are still continuing with you about our different topics. First topic, what we talk about the archaeology. The second one, we'll talk about anatomy.
Yeah.
But in Abdullah Salam Cultural Center, we'll talk about the Human Body Museum also. Sarah.
Of course, we're talking about the human body, and the mind takes center stage, offering visitors a journey into the most exciting and to know more about the human body. I have been, to be honest, to Abdullah Salam lately, like a couple of months ago. It was my first time. I think it's really interesting for people to visit. It's for elder people and young people to know more about different parts in the world, let's say.
So maybe I will give you too many certain questions now.
Yeah.
So what about the thing it's already like maybe you are interested more if you go to show that amazing place? What about the certain location maybe you or maybe get referred or you're interested of?
Well, to be honest, I'm more interested into knowing about history and a little bit of science, maybe. Nature, I like nature, but maybe I wasn't interested that much to know more about it. So I think it gave me a lot of education, even though if I know some stuff. But back then, some information might be missing or it's not clear enough. So with this kind of museum, Abdullah Salam, I think would educate and would help entertain a lot of people to go there.
And even more, we'll talk about the we call it the body museum. You know,
Yeah.
like you sometimes when maybe they give you a long time ago the book of anatomy book. You know,
Yes.
like people are very curious to know more about the organs and the bones of any human being. You know,
Of course.
because Allah created us in a very beautiful way. So
Yeah.
when you go to see any human body with different shapes and you go to see the beauty and something we call it the miracle of the human body, maybe
Yes.
because we don't feel it,
Yeah.
but if you go to see it, if you already been have a visit to this museum, you will see every organ have itself, you know, certain way about how it's working, the beneficent, the ingredients. So it's interesting to know more about your organs. Maybe you will feel more. You do much more for your
Yes, of
body.
course, especially Abdulaziz, I think for the, let's say, the new generation again and the kids to know more about, because we always used to have these kind of questions. How do the brain works? How do some certain parts, what do we have inside? How does it look like? So I think it would be interesting and easier for people to know more about when we're talking about such a museum like that. And we're talking about the human body.
Human body, so it's already unveiling the secrets of the human body.
Yes.
That's why this is the main keynote to acknowledge and to teach our kids about how to take a good care of our body.
Yes.
And you know, like we know the good thing, the kids are very curious.
Yes.
So if you brought them to this kind of exhibition to know about their bodies, about the anatomy, about the organs, about how the brain works, how you already taking good care of your body, how to eat well, how to teach yourself to drink much more of water. And so they are curious how to take a good care of their body, and even for adults like us, to aware us. Sometimes people maybe forget, you know, about how to take a good care, how you take a good care of your body. So some people are curious. It's awareness for adult and teaching and education for the kids.
Of course, also the visitors are gained to profound understanding the interconnected systems to contribute overall as a well-being as well. And I remember when I have visited there, there's also, other than knowing more about the human body and the brain, they give you some exercises.
Okay.
That's really interesting and entertaining to do. So you would feel, and after knowing or having the knowledge about whatever you're reading or the example is over there, they would give you some exercise to do in order to feel what you're saying.
So it's you already mentioned something nice. So you will do like a certain exercises in the Abdullah Salam Cultural Center, like you are feeling how your body works.
Yes.
Like if you do some certain exercise, you will see the simulator and you see the big screen.
Yeah.
How your body works towards when you do some like a little bit HIIT workout or any
Yes.
like normal exercise like walking and even more. So I know you want to say something.
Actually, I remembered the part you're saying exercise. There was, I'm not sure if it was in the certain place, but I'm sure it is. When we're talking about exercising, there was, I think you have to run and they need to check how many seconds you're running
Heartbeat?
in a certain, exactly, for the heartbeat. So I think that was really interesting. I didn't try it, my sister did, but yeah, it was really
Did you take a
interesting.
photo of your sister when she tried it, or you saw her impression?
Really, I don't remember, to be honest. But it was really interesting, especially, I'm telling you, for kids, knowing how the speed and her heart rate, how she's running while she was doing this kind of exercise.
So it's a good like to teach us how to be always to be patient, how to take a good care of our health and body. And the good thing, like we like to appreciate the efforts for Abdullah Salem Cultural Center. You know, these days they are holding too many big events. For something for anatomy, for the science, it's important because science is like we call it a marvelous, like a sky for unlimited things. You know, like if you do something for anatomy, for how you're already turning your muscles, how you're already holding your hands, especially not about only the organs, even your muscles and your bones. It's
Yes,
important.
of course. I think the awe-inspiring nature of the human brain is brought to life, portraying its supercomputer with unparalleled
Capabilities, yeah, I know.
Yes.
You know, because always in our show around Kuwait, we're learning something new. Even the words, I know, like science words, little bit long, like more than 20 words. So that's why we're always learning something new. That's why we are very appreciate for the efforts of the working crew, who already teaching us to learn new things. Even here, we always learn something new.
Of course,
right,
every day
Sarah?
we're learning. Day by day, you're learning more and more, and especially when we're talking about the human body and the brain, I think it's more important because it highlights our thoughts and emotions and actions, and I think we have this kind every single day, every second and every minute, which is really important for our human body.
So have to, it's like for, you know, the significance of this exhibition is to teach us and the keynote to educate our children and to aware the adults, and even also more for like educating all community and the families, you know.
Of course.
Because when we gather people, we want to gain, to exchange the benefits. I share with you about my knowledge, you gain educated, you learn how to do, and you spread it to the other communities.
Yes,
so
of
the
course.
beneficiation is everywhere.
Yes, of course, and as you have mentioned, Abdulaziz, the significance of health that takes on a new dimension as visitors explore how our bodies face the challenges. I think it's really important, especially I'm more into focusing on the new generation because they're the new generation. They will make the future, and I think as we are growing, things are changing, especially by the technology itself.
And also you have to stay active, you know,
Yes.
like you have to know like how your body works. You don't have to be sit always at home. You just don't act. You have to act. You have to stay active. You have to stay healthy. You have to respect what's happening in your body. If you love yourself, if you respect yourself, you will be better. You will be more like happier, and you know how to avoid the things that will harm your body.
Yeah.
Sometimes you won't, but sometimes you have to avoid.
Of course, and we don't forget that the exhibits provides insights into the body's robust defense mechanisms, emphasizing the importance of maintaining the churching of our health, of course.
Nice. So this is like for interesting topic. So dear viewers, we spoke about the second topic about we call it the Abdullah Salem Cultural Center holding. We call it the human body anatoms and even the organs. So let's go to this breaks. We'll continue our show around Kuwait. Stay tuned.
And we're back, dear viewers, continuing our topic, talking more about the human body and the brain. What do you have now, Abdulaziz?
Actually, we have too many certain things. I know, like the people who's watching us through the KTV2, when they saw like some break, would like to working or to thank also the working crew for the amazing preparing some certain different topics. We'll talk about the 4D show. Inside the Abdullah Salem Cultural Center, especially for the museum, there is like certain location you go there, like you are diving inside the human body. Like in the
Yes.
4D show, you will go inside, you will feel like you are under any like person's body. So you will see the organs are like how the blood working, how the organs are already we call it acting, and they're already applying their work. So it's a good thing you'll be involving inside of the organs in the 4D show, so you feel more about your body.
Of course, Abdulaziz, this is the captivating 4D show guided by the interactive character, which is called the Kashif, I think. It was there already. I have seen it, to be honest. It's really interesting to know more about the human body, especially when you're having a 4D show in front of you. I think it's much easier to be explained and to be more clear to know more about the body, which the Kashif enlightens visitors about the body's defense of the mechanisms, unfolding the marvels of how our biological systems combat threats.
And also combating the threats, because this is the nature of our human body. You know, because when you go walking everywhere, too many, like we call it, infections around us, dirty around us, viruses.
Yes.
So you know, like your body is a miracle. How like the defense machine and defense, our defense. You know, like soldiers, they are defending against this kind of viruses and bacteria and even more. And this is a good thing about human.
Yes, especially I'm just remembering right now while you're talking back then in school when we used to have the biology lesson, they used to give us this kind of example showing us how to learn about the human body. But it's also interesting to have that such an example in such a museum to know more about it. So whenever you're bored, to be more educated instead of doing something else and entertained, we could visit that kind of museum.
So you are a big fan of biology?
Not really. I wasn't when I was back then in school.
You have to already teach and learn too many things, and you have to remember all
of course, yeah.
You have to know all the definitions. So this is we talk more about the biology, because the biology, it's like the key of all the human body. You have to know. So that's why we like to thank the people who, you know, the organizing team who already holding such amazing events, and they are welcoming the people, they are organizing the volunteering. So Abdullah Salem Cultural Center is not a place only for education, it's the place and also to teach the people how the art of initiative also.
And as well as entertaining others. It's not just for education. And this journey continues with an interactive laboratory where visitors actively participate and conduct experiments. As you have mentioned, there's a lot of exercises as well as experiments there, so people can try the experiments to believe in what they're seeing and what is there already.
And you know, the laboratory entertainment, you know, like they are teaching us everything, but in a very funny and entertainment way, like for the children to make them more interact with the human, because you know, children, they are not big fan of reading, they're big fan to see the colors and the lights and the sound effects and the others. That's why it interacts and attach and attracts also the kids.
Of course.
For us, we will see something different because we are reading deep.
And especially when we're talking about kids, Abdulaziz, I think kids would be more interested in seeing something live by touching it or doing something with it. They have this kind of interest in finding the laboratory setting provides an experimental learning environment, inviting the visitors to delve into the world of experiments and discovery.
Because this is the land of because I already told you, kids are always curious, so they are like always to go there to explore, to see, to seek, to learn, to even learning more, and then they are asking their parents.
Of course.
So it's a good thing, even the educational area, they are already answering all their questions also, Sarah.
Yes, as to add to what you have mentioned, Abdulaziz, and overall this experience aims to inspire of curiosity and fascination about the human body and mind by providing a glimpse into its complexity by showing the wonders of mechanisms, especially when the visitors visit this kind of museum.
So amazing. So this is the good thing. We'll talk more about we call it the Abdullah Salem Cultural Center, holding this museum for anatomy and for the human body to aware the adults and educate the kids. So I guess this is our second topic for today, dear viewers. Don't go away. Let's go to this break. They will continue your show around Kuwait. Stay tuned.
Hello everyone tuning in, my name is Nasser Borshed, and today we are invited to the opening of the Harvard University program, and as you can see behind me, we're waiting for the lecture to start, so let's go.
A groundbreaking collaboration between the prestigious Harvard University and a local Kuwaiti school has ignited a beacon of educational opportunity. The esteemed Harvard Graduate School of Education in the United States has extended its reach across continents to establish a program aimed at enriching the minds of Kuwaiti students. The bustling corridors of the Kuwaiti school now resonate with the echoes of Harvard's academic excellence. The collaborative program is designed with a noble purpose: to disseminate education widely and ensure a promising future for Kuwaiti students. The partnership seeks to bridge the gap between two worlds, bringing the renowned Harvard educational experience to the vibrant landscape of Kuwait. Harvard's commitment to nurturing intellect and fostering critical thinking aligns seamlessly with the aspirations of the school education system. The rich content and high-quality instruction that define Harvard are now set to unfold in the classrooms of Kuwait, leaving an indelible mark on the educational landscape.
And what this partnership with Harvard holds for the students is it's going to be a trickle-down effect. The leaders that we have at our school that are attending this program and leaders from around the region, when they attend this program, they're going to learn about how to best support teachers and students. And so that only will impact positively the students and the staff for years and years to come.
As the program takes root, there is a palpable sense of anticipation among educators, students, and parents alike. The prospect of having access to Harvard's educational resource is not merely a privilege, it is a transformative force that promises to shape the academic journey of Kuwaiti students. Representatives of Harvard University emphasize the institution's dedication to global education. The collaboration is not just an alliance of institutions, but a meeting of minds, cultures, and aspirations. In the halls of the school, the fusion of Harvard's academic legacy with Kuwait's vibrant educational spirit creates an environment where dreams are nurtured and futures are secured. The dawn of this educational partnership signifies a new era for Kuwaiti students, one that is illuminated by the brilliance of knowledge and the promise of a brighter tomorrow.
All right, everyone, we've reached to the end of this coverage, and they are celebrating right now the relations between the two parties. We've attended the lecture, and it was an amazing lecture. So back to you guys at the studio.
Welcome back, dear viewers. We'll be heading to our third topic for today, where collaboration between the Harvard University and local Kuwait school has opened a new educational horizons. I think, Abdulaziz, when we're talking about the new generation, it's really important to highlight over their future, and especially when we're talking about schools and universities, and especially when we're talking about the Harvard Graduate School of Education in Kuwait.
That's a good thing, you know why? Because that's why we always appreciate the efforts for the Ministry of Education and all the people working in the education sector to improve and enhance our new generation.
Yes.
Because and we want them to merge and interact with the more like high standard schools in the world, you know, like to learn more about how their way of teach for the instructors and for the teachers, how the way to do research, how to encourage the students. So it's a good thing, like to make the students and even all the staff members for the education staff in Kuwait to learn something from Harvard University and Harvard Academic Art. So
Yes.
it's a good thing, like it's people to people relationship, people to people beneficial.
Especially, Abdulaziz, I think the University of Harvard is one of the most famous and important university in the world. Back then, to be honest, I remember when I was in school, we used to have the people who used to have the highest grade or highest excellence in their during their school days, they have a scholarship into this university, which means this kind of university is really important for such a student to study there. So I think it's really important and a good thing to have such a thing in Kuwait about the Harvard University.
And we are very proud. We have like some professors and assistant professors and bachelor degrees and master degrees graduate from Harvard University.
Yes.
And that's why we'll see them now. And now they are working in too many different sectors and private and public sectors. So they are benefiting their country. They are benefiting our lovely country, beloved country, state of Kuwait. So this is the good thing for them. Now they are coming here to benefit the community, to benefit the country. So, but now they are thinking different. So I am merging the Harvard University students and instructors to benefit the education level from the we call it from the KG
Yes.
and intermediate and high school. This is very nice.
Yes, and especially Aziz, in this kind of period while you're studying back then in the school, I think it's the hardest thing because while you're near to graduate, I think it's really hard to, when you're choosing in which university you're gonna study, what major you're gonna study. I think it's really important because the major you're gonna study really important representing the university as well as the university if it provides this kind of major for your future education and knowing more such experience and education for the future, of course.
And also it's like, you know, because we are links between the we call the West and the East.
Yeah.
Different, different experience. So it's like we are building a bridge between the two friendly countries, you know,
Yeah.
between the UK and the state of Kuwait. And from long time ago, we are teaching, we are gaining too many beneficial and the trade and the culture and even education exchange. That's why we'll see too many like Kuwaiti students studying in the UK and learnings. But if you teach them in the young age, it's better to be like a future generation, future leaders we can say, and they know English and will be bilingual students and learning something different from different way of education.
Of course. Plus, other hand, beside of the education, I think you would learn more about culture itself. When
Yes.
you're studying in a different country, you'd be in a different environment, in a different culture place, knowing more about the country itself. So I think this would be really interesting for students to have or to study in different universities, especially when they're not in the same country, they're going abroad to study. I think it's really important to be more educated, especially when you're alone. It means when you're going there, you would push on yourself to study, to be more educated.
To more educated because it gives us motivation, you know,
Yes.
like the one who driving us is the motivation. So you have to be people with determination. You have to determine yourself to learn,
Yeah.
to seek, to search, to learn, and even more. So when you brought something from different countries, it gives us motivation. Like you
Yeah.
have to be compete. Maybe in the future you have to be in a good like a GPA to be in different countries to learn about their countries to benefit state of Kuwait.
Back then, Abdulaziz, did you study in Kuwait or did you
Actually,
study
I
abroad?
studied in Kuwait University and I graduated from Kuwait University because that time maybe the major already held it was here, but maybe if I saw it in a different countries, I would seek for it, no worries.
You would seek. So yeah, I think the cooperative program serves a noble purpose, which, as you have mentioned, there's a bridge, the gap between the two when we're
Continents.
talking about Harvard educational experience to Kuwait. It's transforming the academic landscape, which is really important.
And even we'll talk about now the commitment. Like if you some with a very rich content and high quality education they're providing to you, they teach us to be too much, too much like be commitment.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be committed. You have to be compete. You have to always seeking about your goals because education it's everywhere. You have to
Yeah.
learn something new. It's not about learning about academic side, about the human things. It's they are enriching you and they providing you too many skills to be a leader, to be always in time. You have to finishing your task. You have to be more determination. The way of teach you have to teach different, even simple, but you have to be enhancing your teaching level also.
Of course, and in addition to that, Harvard's rich content and the high quality of instruction are set to unfold the Kuwaitis classrooms. I think when we're talking about education, it's really important because you're building your future basically, and by building your future, it means you're building your experience, the job you're looking for, and how you're going to continue your life.
How to continue your life to be in a better way, because this is education.
Yes.
And always we appreciate the Ministry of Education because they always encourage us for the new services to teach us something new, to encourage the way of teaching, to encourage the students for seeking for their informations, especially for the young age. And Harvard University, it's the most important thing. It's a great example to us how the education side benefiting and wants to learn from the different and from the friendly countries also.
Yes, of course. Also, Harvard University emphasized the institution dedication to the global education, highlighting that the collaboration is not just an alliance. And I think with that, Abdulaziz, as we have mentioned before, meeting of minds and culture and aspiration is really also important, especially when we're talking about this new generation, because I think nowadays the new generation is totally different back then. When if I want to go back 10 years ago or more, when I used to study in university. It's totally different than now.
Totally different than now, because the significance of teachers are already, every day there is something new development, a new the way of teaching is increasing. Before, now it's AI. Before it was like, maybe like we call it like a wall with one of the kind of the pens. Now AI is coming for teaching, so see the diverse.
Would you prefer paper and a pen or AI? What do you prefer?
Well, I prefer all type of education. I'm a very logical guy.
But I think by holding a pen and writing, you would memorize easily. Like, I'm a person who, if I want to study, I would memorize by writing on a paper.
I am actually with your point of view. I am adding to your already opinion. I am with you. But if you combine writing and also paper, and someone like AI is like referring more. Sometimes you need the new technology with the pen. It will be good in your things, because now you are seeking for information, blink an eye.
Yes.
Sometimes you maybe want to continue writing and the AI already helping you. And this is thing happening, even in, this is like, because we are always filming, and this circumstance always happening in the TVs.
Of course, yeah. And especially I would help this kind of new generation, because as we have mentioned, technology is changing. And I think back then technology was totally different. So I think with each generation, it's totally different with learning and education. I think it would be easier for the new generation. And we don't forget that Harvard is one of the academic education for the new students and new generation to study in such a university like that with a high equality and standards. It's really important.
So I will start from when you end the topic, quality and standards.
Yes.
Today we have three main pillars, main topics, and the working crew would like to greet them to preparing different diverse for our dear viewers. We spoke in the beginning about the Arabian Gulf Anti-Kuwait Symposium delivers to the latest discoveries for about the archaeology, and already the participation from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Sultanate of Oman, Kingdom of Bahrain, and the State of Kuwait.
Yes.
And they are exchanging the knowledge about archaeology and the history of the GCC and the Arabian Peninsula. Our peninsula is rich with history and art, and even more also.
Yes, and our second topic was a captivating exploration of the human body and mind at the Museum of Wonders at Abdullah Salam Cultural Center, where I think it's really important, if no one visited such a museum, it's really important to visit this museum to know more, to be more educated, and to entertain as well.
And also, I mentioned in the beginning, it's the family and touristic destination. Yes. It's aware the adults and educate the youngsters, especially when we spoke about the anatomy and the human body. And we already mentioned them about the 4D show. If you go there, like you're feeling you inside one of the human body, and you will see how the body works, competing and works also.
Of course, and our last topic was about the Harvard University collaborates with the Kuwaiti school, talking more about the new generation, Abdulaziz, of course.
And that's why we are enhancing, and we are also believing in our next generations, because that's why the Ministry of Education, they're doing their best to enhancing the new era, the upcoming student, our next generation. After 20, 30 years, there will be future ministers, future secretaries and general undersecretaries, and even administration levels. So we are already believing in them.
Yes.
That's why I always like to thank the Ministry of Education for their efforts.
Of course, and with that, Abdulaziz, I think we reached to an end. So we would like to thank everyone that have joined us in our show around Kuwait, hoping they enjoyed talking about different topics and have been inspired in the different topics for today.
So I guess we reached the end of our episode. See you next time, and have a great day.